Hello, it's Scott Manley here with some more Shenzhen IO. We're getting spam about cleaning my body from harmful nanoparticles from Herbal Carbon Nanotube Cleanse from carboncleanse.healthlutions.potions for all the, magic users and stuff out there in the world that need a domain name. Remove stray nanotubes and all sorts of scary stuff. California Velt Grass, I see. And also includes a free bottle of Wi-Fi wash. Fantastic. Yeah. Ben, put that in the trash. But let's move on to the electronic door lock. So remember Sleep Cubes, the capsule hotel we did a little games console for? They're back, this time asking for a lock that's based off the national ID card. Uh-oh. Loads of privacy concerns here, and not to mention the fact that its trivially clonable master key opens up any lock. Bang, bang, bang. But a job's a job, as they say. At least I think that's what they say. Joe has slept there. Get thrown out of a club. I was researching the customer. There you go. Joe, go Joe, go Joe, Joe, go Joe. And let's go and make this happen. Okay, so what we have is a card reader with an X bus. We have a learn input. We have an unlock input. So now we're going to have to read in 10-digit code. So this is code, and then that's learning it. And then the next time we see that code, if learn is low, we unlock the door. Then again, we learn it. And then we get another code, and it doesn't unlock the door. Then we get 999999, the back door code, and that works to unlock the door. And this card here, so this one, okay, so this thing works regardless of this one. Okay, so it would be kind of logical for me to say have something in here that talked to a memory bus. And actually, if I was to go full on, I don't know, computer security, I would think along something like this, right? This is what I would think of if I was building this product sort of for real and not having to cut corners. You would have a learn, I don't know, you might do that, right? Where what would happen is this one would be tasked with writing to the memory. Oh, wait a second. We need to write 10 digits to the memory. Wait a second. Yes, we would do that. Yes. There. That actually looks horribly complicated. And the idea is when these things get data from the X bus, they both wake up. But if this one is seeing this high, it writes to memory. Whereas this one, if it sees it, it would start reading. It would compare everything against memory and, in theory, unlock the door if everything works. But, and I'm going to be an awful corner cutter here, I think we can do something like I'm not going to use the word cryptographic hash, but I'm pretty sure that we can get away with this. So what's going to happen, it's going to be kind of funny, we can get rid of this. What we're going to do is we're actually going to do some sort of computation on all 10 numbers that we can do on the output side. Let's actually just do the computation, right? So we'll pass this along. Let's get rid of this for now. I'm totally optimizing this for like minimum amount of effort. So when we're going to sleep on X1, and let's just add it, right? This may not work. They may have thought about this in the test outputs, but we have plenty of arithmetic operations. So, first thing we want to do is actually move X0 into X1 into the accumulator, and then we want to add X1 to the accumulator, and we want to repeat that 10 times. Too many operands. Add X1, yes. Oh, damn it. There we go. We can't run a loop actually. No, we can't run a loop because the accumulator is being used to do the math. So we can't actually run it unless we have an external memory thing, and the whole point of this is to actually get rid of the external memory. So there we go, add that. And bingo. So that, and then we will write that out to our X2 output. And that's us, right? That would be our whole thing. So then we pass this through, and I think we can get away with a small one. A very small one here. So in here, so we're moving actually our accumulator to X2. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to sleep SLX on X0, and then depending upon the value of P0, we're either going to compare or we're going to... Yeah, wait a second, let's do this. So test if equal, P0 is 100. If P100, if learn is high, then we move X0 into the accumulator. And then that's us. We are done. So we can jump to start. ST there. Otherwise, what we want to do is compare. So test if X0 is equal to the accumulator. If that's true, then we generate a pulse, and a door pulse is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So we're going to generate 6, P1 for 6 and for 0. And that's it. Otherwise, we then loop back around and we don't do anything. So let's advance. So we get this number. We stored our checksum as 46. That's great. And the door unlocks. Now we learn a new one, and that doesn't unlock. That's great. And now this fails because we haven't got code to check for 9999999999999. So herein lies a problem, because I'm testing X0 and I lose the value of X0 and I've got no place to store it because I'm using the accumulator to store the good keys. So actually, what I'm going to do is move it twice. So we can expect this value to be sent twice. So if that is that, otherwise test equal X0. Now what's the value of 999? It will be 90, right? So we're comparing that, and again we're going to gen P160. Oh, wait a second, that's wrong. That's totally wrong. Because we need to do both of these. But we need to guarantee we're generating the second one, aren't we? Minus. So TEQ P1. Oh no, test equal X0 against 90. And that one will only get executed when that happens. So we need to clear this thing, I think. No, what are we going to do? Move X0 to null, so we can get rid of that. Let's try this. Advance, simulate. Oh, I am a genius, but just wait. Have they... Yes, I knew it! They were smart enough. They were very smart to put in something where the checksums are the same. So all I need to do... Right, because if you add up these numbers and you add up these numbers, you still get 44. So while it's 1 in 1,000 chance of a collision, this is called a hash collision. The problem is my hash is terrible. So let's actually do something to improve my hash. What I could do, actually, is move, DST. Digit set digit 1. So we've already set digit 2, and then we'll set that to X1. So now we're setting the second digit, see if that actually gets through the check. Oh wait, that didn't work clearly because I made up some mistake. Oh, and the problem here is the number is wrong. So actually I gotta figure out what 999 is. So advance. So let's pause, advance. So this is 171. That's the value that's in here. So let's put 171 in as my fall through condition. Simulate and see if they've thought of this particular hash. You see, the test cases are unable to check for everything, and I am able to beat the curve on many of these. More lines of code than I would like, but I'm quite happy with this. Let's return to the email. This is the least secure security solution I've ever seen, and that's probably presuming that somebody didn't hack their way around this. And I've worked on voting machines. If you ever stay in a sleep cubes, bring your own lock. Fantastic. Okay, moving on, we have Tilly engaging in some small chit-chat, but who cares when we have a deep-sea sensor grid, so that we can bring a surveillance system to the oceans. Yes, part of the surveillance state. Complete ocean monitoring system, passive sonar, magnetic anomaly. Who is it for? It's for Sun Haotian, which kind of sounds like the ocean. I'm assuming that I'm pronouncing the ocean correctly. Okay, we have sonar, we have magnetic, we have a radio transmitter that's attached to this gizmo. When a data packet is received that specifies the ID number, which is encoded in this, look at this. Okay, great. So we have a sonar and we have a magnetic. This is going to be something called a ring buffer that we're doing here. That means we need memory. I'm just going to put that there and there. So the idea is that we're going to write the data into this. Now, there's two ways I could store it. I could try storing the sonar on one side and the magnetic on the other, but really this is just one sequential blob of data. So, yeah, and honestly, I'm just trying to think. Yeah, if we do one side and then the other, then we're going to be rewriting the address pointer every cycle, which is going to be like, no, that's going to be slowing down. That's going to be more work for the reading and writing. So all I'm going to do is move P1 into X3. Not X3, X3 is the address, X2, and then we're going to move the magnetic in, P0 into X2. And in that case, that will just run through the thing, but we need to reset the pointer if we go off the end, because we're only needing 6 data points. So that would be 12 here, and these last 2 should be unused. So, if test greater than X3 is the address, is greater than 11, then move 0 into our address line. And then we need to sleep. Sleep 1. Advance, advance, advance. And you see that we're writing data through here. Great. Now, so we need to figure out how we're going to get our data out. So this thing, I'm going to make this my reader-writer thing. So it's going to talk to this. It's going to... Now, here's the question. Does it communicate directly with memory? So you could have something like that and that. Problem with that is I need this. So I think the way to do it instead is try and ask the other one to do the hard work for me, right? So we're going to go over there and say, hey, you want to check this out? We need some sort of communication because we either need 2 ports with... I mean, technically we don't need 2 ports, but I worry that we might hit some instruction limits. So let's do it this way. So this one will just compare if... what instruction is this? This is x1 test equals x1 and x2, right? That means have we got the same thing? If not, jump to sleep. Not sleep. Not sleep 1. Sleep 1 is somewhere else. Sleep. Oh man. P. Sleep 1. There we go. So that's our loop here. Okay, that's great. These things come and go. Next, if not, we probably want to tell the other side, hey, we've got work. And if because we have an X bus here, we need to tell it whether we have work or not. So if we are the same, then we move the value in X2 into the DAT register, and then we'll move X0 into DAT into X0. However, if there's no data, then we actually need to send a ping saying nothing to see here, no work to be done, into X0. Otherwise this side will block because this one now has to read. So how are we going to send this back, right? We could send back like the address followed by the data, or we could just send like all the data in the correct order and then have this ping. I'm not sure I'm going to have enough room in the logic here to just send back 6 bytes. So what we're going to do is before sleeping, because sleep is good, we're going to compare. Let's just try moving X0 into DAT first, right? And if test equals DAT 0, if so, jump to sleep. because we don't need to do anything. Okay, so that's that. Now in this set of lines, we need to either send you can either send the address and then all this data, and then that would actually have, you know what, I think we can fit the stuff to skip. Let's try this. So we need a loop here, and we need to know our start point, so we need to know our current address pointer. So move x3 into the accumulator because we're going to test against that. And if we need to know the dat one, what we can do is test equals dat 1. Oh man. And then the other thing is that we're going to somehow have to deal with the end. So we need a loop here, right? So we need to have like a test equals x3 and accumulator, right? And if that's the case, we drop out of this, so we jump to loop, right? So we know we need that instruction, but we somehow need to send the rest of it. I think there is not enough room for me to do the dat testing thing, so I'm just going to send back 12 bytes, or not 12 bytes, but we're going to send back 12 pieces of data, and that gives me room here to handle my loop. So we're just going to send back the 12 bytes and then have this thing figure out what it's going to do with them. So what we're going to do is move x2 into x0 on a loop, and that will run us through this loop. But if x3 teq x3 is, or test greater than x3 is greater than 11, then move 0 into x3, right? That's fine. That's us sending 12 bytes of data. And in fact, I can optimize this loop by putting in an extra move here, right? x2. Move, x2 to x0. Let me see if that works. Advance. So we get here and then step. So now we get into our loop. And we've moved it and it's blocked. That's what's happened. Right, it's blocked because this thing is not reading. That'd be really nice to know what that was doing, but I guess actually I could know what it was doing by hooking it into this. Wouldn't that be... Oh no, I guess I could have a separate line here just to see that it's producing the correct output. Look, you see I'm building debugging into my system to make sure it's doing the right thing. Isn't that brilliant? x1. Okay, let's do this. Advance. Bingo! And it wrote a whole pile of zeros. That isn't what I wanted to have happen. That's because I wrote into the address line, because I'm an idiot. Let's do this once again. In here. Advance. Bingo! Ha! And it writes, starting from here, in a loop. Down there. Brilliant! So that is actually doing the right thing. We can get rid of this. We know that this is going to get 12 bytes back, and the other thing now needs to know what it's going to do with this. So x0. Now this... So this has done it. Now it needs to move 12 into the accumulator because we know we're going to get 12 bytes. But actually we're going to get 6 bytes. We're going to get 6 pairs of bytes. And we're going to run our loop like this. Now our loop should be... so we basically, depending upon the value of dat, we either take the even data or the odd data. So test if equal dat is 1. If so, we will move. Wait a second. So what we can do is this, where we like move x0 into x3, and then the other instruction will be move x0 into null, and then the other option is we move x0 into null, and then move x0 into x3. So that's our read and write. Now we need to sub. So here's the thing, we're going to need to sub 1, then we're going to need to test, and then we're going to need a jump. So we need to save an instruction. And note how these are the same, right? So all we need to do, look at this is beautiful. Oh crap. what I'm just going to do here is cut this out, put it here, and then both things are going to perform this instruction, and then that's saved an instruction. So depending upon the value, we either execute the move before, the null move before or after, subtract 1, and then test if accumulator is 0 or not equal to 0, and jump to LP. Jump to LP. Let's see how this works. Simulate. Data, 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 surveying the oceans for that ocean information. Look at that! I'm quite proud of this until it breaks. It's gonna break somewhere, I'm sure. Come on, break. No, it succeeded! But man, my power usage is high. My production cost is pretty low. How did they get these low ones? I'm beginning to suspect that they didn't reset these things after introducing, modifying, whatever. Let's go back to the email. Well, this is an occasion for some pride. Mr. Sun has very specifically praised Longtang Engineering when he took delivery of these components. Let's give ourselves a pat on the back. I feel like we're going to play a big role in his future plans to dominate the oceans. Represent. I'm Scott Manley. Fly safe.